At a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, the Village of Fredonia duly called and held on the 12th day of August 2013 at 7:30 p.m. in the Trustees Room, 2nd floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Public Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at the meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of July 8th and July 22nd, 2013. Now therefore be it resolved that this board approves the minutes, is entering the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Reports.
We have the police report for the month of July 2013. 690 incidents reported, 20 accidents, 25 arrests, 39 vehicle and traffic, and 35 parking tickets for the month. We also have the justice report for the month of July 2013. A total number of cases were 143 with $12,191 collected in fees.
Correspondence.
Notice of petition and petition was received from Maxim Kravitsky, Richard Krohn, Peter Gale regarding their assessment for their property located at 2 and 3 Birchwood Drive in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of the notice of petition and petition from Maxim Kravitsky, Richard Kahn, and Peter Gao against the Board of Assessment Review for the Town of Pomfret, the Assessor of the Town of Pomfret, and the Town of Pomfret for a review of the assessment of certain real property at 2 and 3 Birchwood Drive in the Village of Fredonia for the 2013-14 tax assessment. Now therefore be it resolved that said notice of petition and petition be forwarded to the Town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interests of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
A notice of petition was received from John and Jean Belinsky regarding their assessment for their property located at 9 Burnett Drive in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of the notice of petition from John L. and Jean C. Belinsky against the Board of Assessment Review for the Town of Pomfret, the Assessor of the Town of Pomfret, and the Town of Pomfret for a review of the assessment of certain real property at 9 Burnett Drive in the Village of Fredonia for the 2013 tax assessment.
Second.
Oh, you still got one more paragraph.
Now therefore be it resolved, said notice of petition be forwarded to the Town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interest of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
A notice of petition and petition was received from Ralcor Holdings, Inc., successor in interest to the Carriage House Companies, formerly known as Red Wing Company, regarding its assessment for various village properties in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of the notice of petition and petition for Ralcor Holdings, Inc., successor in interest to the Carriage House Company, FKA the Red Wing Company, against the Board of Assessment Review for the Town of Pomfret, the Assessor of the Town of Pomfret, and the Town of Pomfret for a review of the assessment of various real property, requesting a reduction in their assessment in the amount of $2,359,160 in the Village of Fredonia for the 2013 tax assessment. Now therefore be it resolved that said notice of petition and petition for forward to the Town of Pomfret, the assessing authorities for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interest of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. And now we come to the public portion of the meeting. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board, please state your name and...
My name is George Paskey. I live at 108 Clinton Avenue. I'm not a public speaker, and I made some copies. Can I pass the copy?
Certainly. Oh, certainly. For many years, my family was able to enjoy our property from front to the drainage ditch owned by Red Wing in the back. Because of soil conditions, we hired a water engineer in the early 2000s to help us remove excess water. He made certain recommendations to us, a French drain. to Red Wing and our neighbor to the south of us. We had a French drain installed, and Red Wing did some changes to their property to improve drainage. The Tim Horton owner to the south evidently knows more than the water engineer and has done nothing. I therefore, in the back, still have standing water. I have trees on my back line next to the ditch because of too much water and ready to fall over. I have lost plantings on the property line to the south, and more off are dying off because of too much water. Many village employees have visited my property, and I've had many conversations with John Monaco. Years have gone by and nothing has been done. What do I need to do next? And this is dated 8/13/2013. I know, I think it was in the fall that I came over there with John Monaco. And when we went down and looked at it, there was a blockage in the line. And that blockage was pulled out, and the water seemed to start flowing again. I assume that didn't make any difference? Okay. Okay.
Now, the property owner to the south of it,
Great.
that used to be an open ditch all along. Red Wing opened that ditch for drainage.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, my neighbor wanted to use his backyard, so he put a small tile in there and covered up the ditch. And since then, I've had the problem.
Okay. And Jack, you've looked at this in the past? Okay. Any recommendation?
Well, yeah, if it was out front, we put a bigger pipe in, but in the backyard, I don't have any, I can't make anybody do anything. I can suggest that they do, but
Right.
it's a private property issue that would have to be handled through the building inspector's office.
Okay. Okay. And John Monaco has retired, but that doesn't mean we can't take a look into it.
Yeah, do you have a recommendation?
I've written to Redwood. I can't remember the name of the gentleman, but
Mhm.
I've written 2 letters. I haven't heard a response back yet.
Fine.
I'll give him a call. I told you that before, but I will give him a personal phone call and see if there's something that could be done, but I have written to him on 2 occasions.
And I thought when I was last over there, they had just dredged. Red Wing had come through and had just done some work, hadn't they?
They lowered the culvert, and that's all.
Okay.
This is on Redwood's property, Bruce, where
Yeah.
the problem exists.
Well, it's a combination, right? Your property owner to the south of you as well as Red Wing, if I understand this right.
Well, the ditch is Red Wing's ditch for
Right,
drainage.
right. And it's a pretty good sized ditch. I mean, it's a good sized, cleaned out
Well, it
area.
was a good-sized ditch.
Right. Okay. Bruce, could I get your phone number?
679-1072.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a look at it, start talking to a couple of people and get right back to you?
Oh, I wish you would.
Okay, okay.
Or by my house.
It's not a bad house. You got some water in your backyard though, and that I'm sorry. I know. Right, yeah, I know. Well, you could always stock it. But no, seriously, I'll get right back to you. I'll take a look, see if there's anything we can come up with. Okay. Did anyone else like to address the board? Yes, sir.
I have just one question. Possibly Laura asked. Building a new garage, would you need a variance if it's less than 9 feet from the line?
You're in the wrong place right now. What you need to do is talk to the zoning board. If you go over to the zoning inspector, right? I don't know if you,
Well, that's difficult. Is someone, do you want to build closer to the boundary line, or someone else building closer to their boundary?
Do they need a variance?
If they're within the restricted side yard restriction, and I can't tell you off the top of my head if it's 7 or 9 feet. Mr. Barter will know that pretty quickly. But if they're within that restricted side yard requirement, then they'll need a variance.
Anyone else like to address the public portion? Seeing no one, resolutions.
Be it resolved upon the recommendation of Tom Battaglia, Director of the Fredonia Pomfret Parks and Recreation Department, James Hobbs, Fredonia, is hereby appointed as part-time seasonal Russell Joy Park attendant at $8.50 per hour, effective August 18, 2013, with no other benefits to be given for the 2013 summer program.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passed. Is there anything else that the board would like to discuss at this time? Mrs. Jones?
There being no further business, I make a motion, we amend, I'm sorry, adjourn the meeting for tonight.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.